Good morning. I'm so not used to vlogging anymore. This is so weird. We're gonna have a great day. Class got canceled. One of my graduate school classes is not happening today, so I don't have anything until work tonight for coaching at the gymnastics gym, which is so nice because usually I am so insanely busy all day long and I actually get to relax today. So I felt like this was the perfect day to bring you guys along. So let's get started with the day. Hello, so I have been staying at my parents' condo here in South Florida for a little while now. I have an apartment, but some stuff has happened and I wanted to kind of get away, take a little bit of a reprieve, and so I've been staying here to be able to really connect with myself more. Usually in the morning, I try to go outside to take a second and enjoy nature before I go in and start making breakfast. This morning I decided that I am going to go to the beach. Let's get going. So I just got changed and the beach was a bust, but that's okay. It's still beautiful and I got to be in the presence of the ocean this morning, so it's fine. But I'm gonna shift gears now and I'm gonna do some research. I was looking a lot yesterday trying to figure out what I'm doing after graduation, and I had a lot of different ideas, but I'm gonna read something that I wrote last night before I went to bed that kind of gets my thoughts in order, because this is a very this is a very weird time in my life. I don't really know what I'm doing and I get really unsettled when I'm not sure exactly what's going on. There are endless possibilities, and for some reason that really scares me. What if I don't choose the right path? What if I don't follow my true dreams? What if I don't become successful? But then my logical brain kicks in and reminds me that we don't dread on what ifs of life, because that gets us nowhere. I know when I graduate I want to go on a Go Eco trip, since I already put down my $200 deposit, which lasts 5 years. Because before I found out I got into the FAU graduate school program, I had planned to go to Ecuador through Go Eco to live on an animal sanctuary for 3 weeks. But I had to cancel because last minute I found out that I was moving to Florida, and so my deposit is still available and I can still use it, so I definitely want to pursue that. And I think instead of going to Ecuador, because it's recently been a bit unsafe with everything that's going on over there, and the government and all, so I think instead of Ecuador, I either want to go to like someplace like Thailand. There's so many places, like South Africa would be really cool, Australia would be really cool, but I mean, I don't know. And so I haven't figured it out, but that's what that is. I want to travel and see other cultures and experience life being less materialistic and freer. I know my family is going to take a trip end of June to the beginning of July. I know I will continue posting videos and working on my business. I know I will someday publish Flickering Lights, my memoir, but I'm not sure how yet. There are so many unknowns. I keep thinking to myself, okay, Sky, what is your ideal life? What would your dream life look like? I have so many different dream lives that I realize I don't know which one to choose, and I get overwhelmed. I've wondered if writing them down will help me, so I'm going to give that a try. I become a New York Times bestselling author, and my content creation takes off. I live solely off my creative outlets, and I create my own business / nonprofit. I advocate for survivors and travel to speak at events. I work with a director, and my memoir turns into a movie that raises awareness about CSA, child sexual abuse, and sextortion. I live in a rustic home by the beach and take care of my animals and work to become self-sustainable. I meet the love of my life and we build one another up while also focusing on separate dreams and aspirations and pushing each other to succeed. My next step, however, is different than my dream life. 1. I moved to Hawaii, which was my dream back in high school. If you watch my videos from back in high school, it's funny how those dreams still live on in some aspect of you. Live simplistic and minimalistic. I grow my own food and have animals I take care of. I stay frugal, and I continue with content creation and writing. 2. I go on my Go Eco trip and then continue to travel afterwards and work on finding myself for a year before settling down somewhere and getting a social work job to be able to take my licensure exam 2 years after. 3. I move back to Kansas City and get a studio apartment in the plaza where I can write, paint, and do content creation. I get a job at Moxa and continue advocacy work and speak at events, etc. So, yeah, I wrote that last night, and it was helpful to get all of those thoughts down for sure. But it kind of leaves me at the same place. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to embrace that more and more each day. But yeah, so last night I was doing some research and I found something called Workaway, which I have looked at before, but not in depth. And basically, Workaway is homestay volunteering, and you get to travel somewhere, so that you have to pay for your flight and everything. You'll get there, you stay with a host, and you do some work, and then you have some free time where you get to explore wherever it is that you travel to. So you're able to stay at the place for free and work in return. And it really depends on the host whether or not you are getting meals from them or transportation or anything like that. It varies from host to host. So I did some research on that last night because I was curious, and so I don't know, there's so many, it's overwhelming because there's so many potential, there's so much potential, and there's so many different things that I could do, and I don't know what I want to do yet, which is totally fine, but scary. Today I need to do some homework for grad school, and then I'm gonna read some of my book that I have, the trauma stewardship, which I'll be talking about in another video, all of the books that I've read that have been helpful for me with social work and trauma recovery. But basically this book is all about like secondary trauma and how to work in the field without burning out, essentially. I just made, well, I'm having some leftovers. I just made some quinoa and spinach and these veggie wontons the other day. I have been doing so much research to try to figure out what I'm doing after graduation. So that was pretty much what I've been up to. I called my mom and talked to her about it, and it's super overwhelming. And it's funny because I know that this video you won't see, so right now it's end of October. I know you won't see this video until December, and I know that I'm gonna have a lot more figured out by that point. But I don't know, life is super weird, and I'm so excited for what's to come, but it's also like, my mom mentioned like traveling social work as a possibility, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that that was a thing that you could do. So I looked into that. And then I started researching a lot more about like what I want to do with my book, because I got a contract from Atmosphere Press, which is a hybrid publishing company, and I put down a deposit of $200 for that to keep my contract. But I can also decide at any point that I would actually like to discontinue that contract and self-publish instead. So I'm still deciding on, or traditional publish, because there's traditional, hybrid, or self-publishing. And so I was looking into some of that as well. This is just such a crazy time in my life. I don't know. But I love vegan food. It is a beautiful windy day. Hello, it is now 3:30 and I am leaving for work to go coach gymnastics in like 30 minutes, but I've just been reading this book. When I get back from work, I'll be having dinner, and I need to cook something tonight, and then I will chat with you guys then. But bye, I'll see you later. Hello, I just got back from work. I took a shower and changed, and now I need to make food, and I'm really craving like chocolate right now, so I was gonna make like some fancy meal because I'm vlogging today, but I think I'm just gonna do an apple with chocolate sun butter, because that's what my body's craving right now, and I want to allow my body to have whatever it wants, so that's what I'm gonna do. I get to relax and have my sun butter and my apples. So tomorrow is a full day. I have my internship. I work at a psychiatric hospital from 7:30 a.m. Until 5 p.m. I'm gonna finish eating, and then I'm gonna read my book until I fall asleep. because tomorrow it's gonna be a long day. But, alright, bye.